Hello everyone and welcome along to this graduate career planning session. I'm Rob McPhail, one of the careers consultants at RGU. The focus of this session is discover what you want, and I'll be offering some advice and guidance that will hopefully help you to explore how to gain an understanding of who you are and help you to identify your strengths and interests, all of which can be invaluable in helping you to find the kind of role and career you will enjoy and find fulfilling. I just want to briefly outline what we'll cover in this session. By the end of this session, I hope you'll be able to understand self-awareness and why it is important, that you'll know how to identify your strengths and your skills. You'll be able to research your options, and you'll also be able to identify your next steps. These are things that are going to be really important for you as you take that next step and make the transition from student to working professional. I think one of the important things to recognize at this point is that when you graduate from university, you're at a really significant point in your life. You have gained a degree after years of study and hard work, and you're on the threshold of something new. Hopefully, you're feeling excited and energized and ready for whatever comes next, but you may also be feeling a little bit anxious and uncertain about what comes next, and that is perfectly normal. You may have a clear idea of what you want to do and how to achieve that, and if so, that's great. But many graduates don't know what they want to do next, and that's okay too. You don't need to have it all figured out at the moment. This can be a really good point to pause, to reflect on what you've learned and experienced in the last few years, and explore your options around what happens next. Whether or not you're clear on what you want to do next, or you don't have a clue, this is an ideal time to take a step back and think about who you are and what you have to offer. When it comes to securing a graduate role, you're going to have to convey to employers what you're good at, what are your values, your aspirations. So it's important that you understand these things yourself in the first instance. It's really important that you have self-awareness. But what does this actually mean? Well, we've got a brief definition here: a conscious knowledge of one's own character and feelings. And many of us struggle with this kind of thing. Many of us struggle to analyze ourselves or to identify or talk about what we're good at. This can sometimes be seen as being arrogant or boastful. And similarly, many of us find it hard to think or talk about what we are not so good at, which might be seen as negative or showing a weakness. And sometimes the reality is we just don't have the time for self-reflection. However, self-awareness can be an invaluable tool throughout your life, as it enables you to be clear in your own mind about what you're good at, what you enjoy doing, and also to be clear about the things you need to try and develop or work hard at improving. It can help you understand why and how you will react in certain situations, which will help you to manage those situations better in future. Being self-aware can be a very useful attribute in life in general, and it's particularly useful in helping us to find the right job. If you really know who you are, you're more likely to find a job that will suit you, that meets your needs and aspirations, and that you will find rewarding. So having good self-awareness is going to help you to make good career decisions now and throughout your career. Self-awareness is also going to help you hugely when it comes to the process of applying for jobs. If you're going to secure an interview, you're going to have to submit an effective application or CV that showcases your knowledge, skills, and experience, that conveys to an employer what you're good at. And remember, it's not enough simply to say that you're good at something. You're going to have to give some real concrete examples to demonstrate that you're good at those things, to demonstrate you've got those skills that the employer is looking for. And all of this is also going to be crucial at interviews, where you need to be able to clearly articulate who you are and demonstrate your strengths and skills to the employer. Again, many of us find it difficult to identify what we're good at and to talk about it, but you need to be able to do this. You can't assume that employers are somehow going to divine this information or piece it together, or that they are going to give you a job without exploring this. So it's vital that you understand it and you can articulate it effectively. You will need to make the positive case to them as to why you are the right person for the job. And remember, you are the expert on you. Who else is better placed to understand your aspirations and your attributes? No one else is going to do this for you. No one else is better placed to do this than you. If you can do this effectively, it's going to increase your confidence and help you submit effective applications and be better prepared to excel at interviews, all of which is ultimately going to enhance your prospects of getting a job. To gauge your self-awareness in the first instance, you can simply start by asking yourself a few questions. Here are some questions you might want to think about. What are my strengths? What do I enjoy? What motivates me? What are my values and goals? So, are there particular activities or tasks that you've enjoyed from your studies? Or perhaps there are aspects of your part-time work or from your interests, clubs, or hobbies that you've particularly enjoyed? How does this translate itself into the kind of skills that will be of interest to employers? Are you good at communicating or presenting information? Are you a good team player who enjoys collaborating with other people? What would be your examples of how you demonstrate this? What kind of tasks motivate you? How do you live your life? What do you want to achieve in your career? So you can start off by asking these questions of yourself and be honest with yourself. Take the time to reflect on your answers. Allied to this, you can also ask other people what they think and get their insights. You can ask friends or family or colleagues or fellow graduates how they see you. What do they think you're good at? What do they think are your values? And do their views about who you are and what you're good at match your own? As we've said, it's not always easy for us to analyze ourselves in this way. But the good news is that there are resources that can help you to get a handle on your strengths and skills. RGU graduates will still have access to many of the resources that you could access as a student through our employability platform eHub. We have a separate version of the eHub for graduates or alumni, and all you have to do is register for the alumni version of our eHub to access some really useful resources, and I've included the link here on this slide. And you can also see in this slide the image here that shows the main dashboard page of the eHub. And there are a number of excellent resources on there. You can see some of the headings there around graduate support, lifelong learning, business skills, career transitioning, etc. So I really encourage you to register for the eHub and to explore these sections that will be really useful for you as you move forward in your career. And when it comes to understanding yourself, a good place to start on the eHub can be the career tracker option, which I've circled here. This is a quick self-assessment you can undertake, which will offer you insights into your employability and your career confidence. So you can simply score yourself on a number of statements relating to self-awareness, workplace skills, career possibilities, job hunting, CVs and applications, interviews and offers, preparing for work, and career well-being. You'll then be provided with a summary report on your career confidence and suggested actions you can take to make improvements. Career Tracker may identify certain programs you can undertake, and you can explore these programs in the section here. I've circled the heading there on the main dashboard page. There are a number of programs in the program section, including on workplace skills, career possibilities, and hunting for jobs. But there's also a section in there on self-awareness. And you can see from the introductory text here that this section focuses on self-discovery, learning about your tendencies, preferences, strengths and weaknesses. Understanding yourself better helps you to identify the right jobs for you, convey your worth in a cover letter and CV, talk about yourself in an interview, and have the appropriate balance of confidence and humility when starting a new job. So within this section, there are a number of resources and brief tasks you can undertake relating to identifying preferences and values, understanding your strengths and skills, and working styles. So this can be a really useful start-off point to help you to understand what you're good at, and also potentially to understand what you're not so good at and how you can improve in those areas, and also gain an insight into how you prefer to work. Aside from the alumni version of eHub, there are a multitude of other tests you can take to understand your personality and your preferences. These can also be useful in helping you to understand what makes you tick and offer insight into the kind of jobs that may be of interest to you. I've listed some well-known tests here, but there are many others available to you. But for example, the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator is a popular self-report personality assessment designed to identify how you perceive the world and make decisions. You answer around 90 questions about yourself, and it then assigns you a 4-letter code relating to one of 16 distinct personality types and suggestions of what kind of job might suit your personality. The DISC assessment is a behavioural self-evaluation tool used to understand how individuals communicate, collaborate, and respond to conflict. Rather than measuring intelligence or values, it measures your natural and adapted workplace habits based on 4 primary personality traits of dominance, influence, steadiness, and conscientiousness. The Rysek test is a widely used career assessment that matches your interests and personality to specific work environments. Developed by psychologist John Holland, it measures your alignment with 6 broad categories: realistic, investigative, artistic, social, enterprising, and conventional. All of these tests are available online. You can find out more simply by Googling them, or there are books around them as well. And there are obviously numerous other personality and psychometric tests that you can try as well. Having taken the time to develop your self-awareness, you'll be well placed to understand what jobs may be of interest and to research your options. And this is a good point to remind you that you may well have more options than you think. You may have gained a degree in your specific area of interest, and that may be the field you're committed to working in. And that's great if that's your chosen path. But did you know that 70% of all graduate opportunities are open to graduates of any discipline? Employers obviously want you to have a good degree, first and foremost, but the subject area may be less important to them. In fact, increasingly employers are more and more interested in the skills that you have. So it's really important that you understand your skills and you know how to articulate them effectively. In particular, think about those key transferable skills that are important in any role, such as communication, team working, organizational skills, and problem solving. How can you demonstrate that you have these skills? It could be through your academic experience or your work experience, or perhaps through your interests or volunteering experience. So please remember that just because you started off on one particular path, that doesn't mean you're committed to that for the rest of your career. The days of people having one straight line career with one job for life are largely gone. Increasingly, people are more likely to have a squiggly line career where they have different jobs and roles, they double back, they try new things. And employers actually welcome the richness of this kind of experience and the different skills it can provide. Generally, we are all much more flexible and mobile in our careers now, and this all opens up the options available to you. There are plenty of resources you can access to research your career ideas and options, but I just wanted to highlight first off Prospects, which is a really useful website. And I've included some links to specific sections from Prospects here. If you're looking for some career ideas, there is a quick job match quiz you can undertake. It should take less than 10 minutes and will match your skills and interests to job groups. There is also a really useful section on what can I do with my degree, where you can explore different career areas, review various career options within that area, and get some ideas on where your degree could take you. If you want to find out more about a particular job that's of interest to you, there are around 450 job profiles on the Prospects website. These job profiles bring together everything you need to know about that job, including a breakdown of what the job entails, what are the responsibilities, what are the skills required to do that job, how to progress in the role, and information about employers. You can also access a whole range of labour market information on a range of different sectors in the job sectors section of the Prospects website. So I'd really encourage you to explore Prospects. It's a great resource. In terms of other additional resources, I would hope that you're all using LinkedIn, which is a fantastic tool you can use to research employers, build your professional network, and also to look for jobs. The vast majority of employers are using LinkedIn, and they will expect you to be there too. And LinkedIn can be effectively your online CV where you can market yourself to employers and showcase your knowledge, skills, and experience to them. You can also use LinkedIn though to explore what other alumni have gone on to do after graduation. So you can go to the RGU profile page on LinkedIn, you can click on the alumni heading, you can then filter your search by subject and by year, and then you can review where RGU graduates have gone on to work. You could then potentially connect with those individuals to view their career path and potentially reach out to them and ask them for advice. Now you can conduct this kind of search with any institution, but you may find that other RGU graduates will be more likely to be willing to connect as you have RGU in common. And a reminder too that you can still make use of the RGU Career Service after you graduate. We can provide information, advice and guidance on all manner of employability issues, including your CV and applications and how to prepare for interviews. You can email us at careers@rgu.ac.uk. And finally, just to kind of highlight some ways that you can stay in touch with us. At the top of this page on the right hand side there, I've got a link to the eHub alumni, which we've spoken about already. The link below that is a link to some graduate success toolkits we've produced. These are available on our website and they focus on the topics of discover what you want, make it happen, and become professional. And finally there at the bottom right of the page, a link to RGU's Centre for Employability page on LinkedIn, where you can see more about us and what we are doing. So thank you for tuning into this session. I hope that the information and resources I've shared will be useful in helping you to develop your self-awareness, your understanding of your strengths, your skills and preferences, enabling you to discover what you want and take that next step on your career path.